Hello everyone! So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this Chibi Amigurumi doll. This doll is extremely quick to make because it actually only contains 18 rounds of crocheting. So there's no sewing involved either because the arms and legs are made using popcorn stitches. The Chibi Amigurumi doll measures approximately 6 centimeters, which is just over 2 inches. You can customize it however you like. They work up super quick, and so they're perfect for like markets or gifts or even like party favors. So let's get started. So for this crochet pattern, I'm going to be using some light worsted weight cotton yarn. This is from Hobby. It's their cotton 88. This one's also from Hobby. It's also cotton 88, but it's from a different line, but they're all the same. You'll need it in 3 contrasting colors. You'll need a color for the bottom, then for their top, and then also, of course, the skin color. And then as for hook size, we are going to be using the 3.25 millimeter hook. So to start our doll, we are going to be making a magic ring. We're going to be starting the doll from the bottom and then working our way up top. So this is going to be where their bottom and their legs are going to be. So I made my magic ring. I'm going to work 6 single crochets into this magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 single crochets. Now we're going to tighten our magic ring. Now in our second round, we're going to be working single crochet increases in each stitch around. And what that really means is that we're just going to work 2 single crochets in each stitch. So here's our first one, and then our second one. So that's a single crochet increase into our first stitch, and then we're going to just repeat that. So we're going to do first stitch, second stitch. Now that's our second increase, and then basically two stitches in each stitch around, and we're just going to repeat that all the way around. And then once you have that done, you should have a total of 12 stitches in this round. Now I'm going to move my stitch marker here. For the third round, I am going to be making a single crochet and then a single crochet increase. And I'm just going to be repeating this pattern. So a single crochet and then a single crochet increase. And again, oops, and get all the threads in the yarn. So that's single crochet and then a single crochet increase. And then each time you repeat a pattern, you're going to be doing it 6 times. So I'm coming close to the end of the round here. So here I should have a total of 18 stitches. Now for round 4, we are going to be making 6 single crochets first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So that's 6 single crochets, and then in the next stitch we're going to be making a popcorn stitch. So popcorn stitches are basically 5 double crochets into the same stitch, and then we're going to group them together. So I'll show you how to do that. So this is the start of your first double crochet. So this is the first one. Then second double crochet, third double crochet, fourth double crochet, and then fifth double crochet. And then you'll see that like it all went into the same stitch right here. So once you have that, you're going to pull off, you're going to take the loop off the hook here. And so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was the stitch for the first double crochet here. We're going to insert our hook from front to back. We're going to put that active loop back onto our hook like this. Just kind of tighten it a bit. And then you can see that your hook is going through that first double crochet, and then this is your active loop. We're going to bring the active loop through that first stitch like this. And then this is how we make a popcorn stitch. Now we're going to continue on with our pattern, and we're going to make 4 single crochets. So this one here, our first single crochet, then our second single crochet, third, and then fourth. Now before we move on, you can see that, you know, this popcorn stitch is popping out on the right side, which is great, and this is exactly what we want. So now, after the 4 single crochets, we're going to be making another popcorn stitch. So again, we're going to do the same thing and make 5 double crochets into the same stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5 double crochets, and now we're going to insert our hook back into that first double crochet, put our active loop back onto the hook there, and then we're going to pull that active loop through our first double crochet, and then we're going to continue on with our pattern and make single crochets all the way until the end of the round. And then that ends your 4th round right there. This is what you should have. Now for your 5th round, we're just going to make single crochets in each stitch around, and there should be a total of 18 stitches. So that's the first 6 stitches, and then when you get to the popcorn stitch, your stitch, this is not your popcorn stitch. So this bar right here, this one is your popcorn stitch. So we're going to crochet into that bar there before we continue on with the single crochets, crocheting above the single crochet stitches. So that was the 4 that were between the legs there, and then those are the 4 single crochets that were between the legs there. And then now when you get to the popcorn stitch, again, this stitch right here, this is your stitch for the popcorn stitch. So you got to crochet above that one too. So that is the finish of your round 5. But at round 6, we are actually going to be changing colors. So I'm going to undo my last stitch from round 5, and then I'm going to bring in my new color. So I'm going to be changing colors to use white for our doll's shirt color. So I'm going to change it to white and then continue crocheting with the white yarn. At this point, you can probably snip off the blue yarn because we're not going to be continuing with the blue anymore. So this is our round 6. We're going to continue to crochet in one single crochet in each stitch around. Now you might notice that there's a bit of a jog between the color changes. This is going to be the back side of the doll, so you might not notice it as much. If it really bothers you, there are other ways of making it so that it doesn't have that jog, but for me in this pattern, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm just going to be leaving it. Okay, now for round 7, we're going to make 6 single crochets. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is our 6th one, but because I want the arms in a different color, I'm going to be changing the yarn color at the 6th stitch like this. After changing colors, I'm going to be making a popcorn stitch with this new skin color. So I'm going to be making 5 double crochets into the same stitch. That's 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Now before I finish that last double crochet, I need to change it back to the white yarn because I'm going to be continuing on afterwards with the white yarn. So I'm going to be then, to finish off this popcorn stitch, I'm going to insert my hook from front to back into the first double crochet that I made, put my active loop back onto my hook like this, and then I'm going to pull that active loop through that first double crochet that I made to finish off this popcorn stitch. Now with this white active loop, I can continue on and crocheting with the white yarn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be making 4 single crochets, but again, that last single crochet, I need to change it back to the skin color again because I'm going to be making the second arm in the skin color. So now I'm going to do the same thing and make 5 single crochets into this next stitch. So sorry, did I say 5 single crochets? I meant 5 double crochets. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again, because I'm going to be changing back to the white yarn afterwards, in my 5th double crochet, I'm going to be finishing off with the white yarn instead. Now to finish up the popcorn stitch, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to insert our hook into the first double crochet. I'm going to put our active loop back onto a hook after that, and then we are going to pull through with our active loop. Now we are going to continue to crochet all the way until the end of the round. And there should be a total of 6 single crochets. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now you've got your 2 arms like this. Now for the 8th round, we are going to do a single crochet. Oops. Yeah, single crochet, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. We're going to do an invisible decrease where we insert our hooks into the front loop only for the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to pull through a loop and then just single crochet like this. This is called an invisible decrease. And then we're just going to do the same thing all the way around. So that's your decrease here. And then don't forget that your popcorn stitch needs a single crochet as well. So this one here, that's your single crochet. Next one here is your single crochet decrease. And then another single crochet. And the next one here is your single crochet decrease. Now it's a little tricky here because you only have like 1 bar to work with. So you can so that's your single crochet decrease like that. Then again, single crochet, and then your single crochet decrease, single crochet, and then decrease. So that's your decrease like this. The round after that, we're actually going to change color again. So we are going to undo this last stitch, and because we're changing color, instead of finishing off that stitch with the white yarn, we're going to finish it off with the skin color yarn like that. For the 9th round, we are just going to be continuing to work with our skin color yarn, so we don't really need the white yarn anymore. So we can snip that off and then continue on with just the skin color yarn. So here we're going to do single crochet increases in each stitch around, but we're only going to be working in the front loop only. So that's your first single crochet, second, and this is our increase. So we are only working in the front loop only. So that's this one here. So single crochet, second single crochet, and we're going to do increases in each stitch around, again only working in the front loop only. So when you are finished this round, you should have a total of 24 single crochets. For the next round after that, this is the 10th round now, we are going to be doing 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to be doing a single crochet increase. So increase like this. And then we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then increase. So again, 1, 2, 3, and then increase. One, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. So now after this round, we should have a total of 30 stitches. After that, from rounds 11 to 15, so for a total of 5 rounds, we're just going to be single crocheting in each stitch around. So I will go and do that, and I will come back afterwards. Okay, so I just finished my 5 rounds of single crochets, and you can see in these 5 rounds here that there's no increase or decreases. It's just one single crochet in each stitch around. And at this point you can stuff your amigurumi, you can put in your safety eyes. I decided to use embroidered eyes for this amigurumi. If you want to use safety eyes, you would probably put it somewhere over here between like rounds 13 and 14 or so. It's up to you where you decide to put it. But I would put them probably between 5 stitches apart so that they are nicely spaced between. For the next round, which is round 16, I am going to be doing 3 single crochets and then a single crochet decrease. So here's my 3 single crochets, and then this is my single crochet decrease. So again, 3 single crochets, and then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease. And we're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around. And in these last 2 stitches, you should be ending with a single crochet decrease. For round 17, we're going to be doing a single crochet and then a decrease and then another single crochet. And this is to offset this is to offset that decrease there, and we're going to repeat the pattern just like it is. So single crochet decrease, and then another single crochet. So we're going to do single crochet decrease, and then another single crochet decrease, and single crochet decrease, and another single crochet, and then again single crochet decrease, and then single crochet, and then we should be ending around with just a single crochet. Now for the 18th round, I should say, we're going to do just a single crochet and then a single crochet decrease. So single crochet decrease, single crochet decrease, single crochet decrease, single crochet decrease, single crochet, and then in this round we're going to be ending on a decrease. Okay, so in this round here we should have a total of 12 stitches around. This is going to be our last round. We are going to be closing our amigurumi at 12 stitches, and it's going to be okay. It's not going to be pointy or anything like that, because we are going to be using the ultimate finish as a way to close it. But before we do that, I am going to stuff this amigurumi head a little bit firmer so that it's not so soft. So I've stuffed this a little bit more now. At this point, we're going to close it with 12 stitches. So let me grab my scissors, and we're going to snip off the end of this yarn. Like that. And at this point, we can also remove our running stitch marker, and we can just do that by pulling it out. It doesn't ruin the stitches or anything like that. If it does look like you've got a line there, you could just massage it a little bit, and then the yarn's going to relax and your line should disappear. Like I mentioned, there is a bit of a jog with the way that I changed my colors here, but you know what? This is going to be the back side of the doll, so it's not going to be as noticeable, or people might not even care, to be honest. But this is what the doll looks like, and now we're going to close this hole here. So to close the hole, we're going to grab our yarn needle. It can just be a blunt needle. It doesn't necessarily need to be a sharp needle or of any kind or anything like that. We're going to thread our yarn end here. And to close such a big gap here, we are going to use the ultimate finish, which is what we're going to do is that we're going to thread our yarn just through the front loop of each stitch. So that's the front loop of the first stitch. Then we're going to do it to the second, and then we're going to just do it all the way around just in the front loops. Okay, and this one's our last one here. So we've threaded into the front loops of all of our stitches all 12 of our stitches here. And then now we're going to pull it close. So we're just going to pull, and it's going to close up like a drawstring bag, like that. And then you can see that it creates a beautiful finish of this round here, and you would never have noticed that you're closing on 12 stitches. The reason why we're not closing with 6 stitches is because when we do that, it tends to make it a bit pointy. You can see that this here, there's 12 stitches on this round, but when we close it on this last round here, this kind of mimics our magic ring of like 6 stitches. So when we close it on 12 stitches, it is not that huge of a deal. So to make it a little bit more seamless, I'm just going to put it through that first 2 stitches again, and I'm just going to pull through it and then pull it close, so it looks like that. If this hole really does bother you, it's not that big of a deal because you're going to add hair to this doll, right? Otherwise all your dolls are going to look the same. But this is how you make your Chibi Amigurumi doll base. Now you can go decorate it however you want. You can add hair to it. It's really the hairstyles that really give this amigurumi doll more character. And I hope you had a great time learning how to make this, and we'll see you next time.